Evening, people. Welcome to BNR. Welcome to. We don't even have a name for this. I was just about to say welcome to Red Zone, but Liverpool nearly went to Red Zone in the summer. If it went into the summer, Liverpool fans were in the Red Zone. It's fair to say. I think Jake went above the Red Zone, if there is a zone that's called a zone that's more than red. But it become a bit of a squeaky bum time. But I think this was a pivotal break before last week's game. It was an international break. Liverpool had to start doing some deals, and maybe there was a bigger pot to go around for two players, and eventually got sorted. But we'll talk contracts. We'll talk what it means now going forward for the team. Is it a big reset? Is it a small reset? Or is it just fine tuning a few things throughout the team? But it's good to have Gene back, nice and fresh from Birmingham. Jake, I don't know where you are in the world. You could be sat with Richard Hughes for all I know. Welcome back to BNR, mate. And we've got a few other guys coming on as well. I did promise you a special guest to provide us some crazy updates regarding the contracts, because he's been involved in the back and forth in terms of what's going behind the scenes. And I've got my WhatsApp opened. If he gives me 10-15 minutes tonight, he's promised to come on. So I will give you his name. If he doesn't come on tonight, he'll come on throughout the transfer window. He's a friend of the channel. Sarib is running late from work, some spring sales at JD's. So he sold a few trainers, got on the tube, and he's coming back. But yeah, man, what's going on, boys? How we doing? Should be
I'm
happy.
good.
man.
I was waiting for Jake to go. I felt sorry for Jake. Jake's like, I'm been on for a little while. I don't think so. I thought, I'll wait for him to go, but I think I'll go first. I'm good, Asim, man. I'm buzzing. Liverpool are hopefully gonna renew the contracts of Salah and Van Dijk. That's the two deep down that we think most of us wanted us, that when a fella feel that would get over the line, and it looks like that's going to be happening. And yeah, for me, them two right now were the most important players that we needed to tie down. And the news coming out that Salah and Van Dijk over the last couple of days shows that there's some intent from Liverpool in getting these deals over the line. So I'm buzzing. Salah staying, and I'm buzzing Van Dijk staying. They're two of our best players, and our captain. Honestly, I can't really be happy enough.
Jake, I don't want to remind you for the millionth time, but I have to remind you for the millionth time. And to be honest, I'm not taking the piss, joking aside, but you did say, look, all three will leave. And that was an opinion. Like, you weren't alone to have that opinion, because it was at the end of the day, we were in March now, and there was an opinion which you probably still had before the last couple of weeks, when there was a lot more positive messages coming out of the club, that if they haven't signed in the spring, then why would they sign now or later on? So, but you must be glad, because that's every single fan for Liverpool wanted, that these guys, our senior players, our best players, to sign. And although we haven't seen them sign on the dotted line at the moment, but I just told you behind the stage, when there's a story to tell, and when the journalists come out with their articles, I feel like they've had some sort of briefing from the club. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean it's hard to disagree with that. If they're all coming out with the same story at the exact same time, then I absolutely would agree with that. Um, to suggest that myself or anybody else isn't over the moon with this news, I think would be crazy, because like you guys have been saying, these are our two best players, and the last thing that anybody wanted was for us to basically start from zero moving forward, especially after what we hope is a title winning season, which should be happening here pretty soon. But yes, I mean, if you ask me if I expected both of them to stay as we're close to the middle of April, I probably would have told you no, because when deals usually push this long to get done, they usually don't get done. But
Yeah.
absolutely, I'm ecstatic. I mean, these are our two best players, by far our two best players. Neither one of them are showing any signs of slowing down from a long term standpoint. I know Salah's hitting a little bit of a tough patch recently, but as far as full season form, he's been outstanding this season. And the same goes for the captain. So huge to get these two deals over the line. We're the best team in the country right now, and I don't think that's going to change anytime soon.
Breaking news from Fabrizio, a friend of the channel as well. The agreement is done between Liverpool and Mo Salah and Virgil van Dijk. Van Dijk and Mo Salah at any moment will be ready to sign a new contract. Drafts are already been exchanged, and it could be completed very, very soon.
Was that just now?
Literally just now.
There
Literally
you
just.
go.
So
I
agreement is
asked you this
done.
a moment ago. A small part of me, and I'm not suggesting that um, that they delayed the announcement per se, but a small part of me thinks
Yeah.
that they're putting this information out right now, even though it did get done just recently ahead of this West Ham game, just to give this team a little final nudge so we don't limp over the finish line.
Yeah. Fair point, Gene. That I know we've only slipped up in one game. It feels like Liverpool have slipped up in a lot more games. I know we had the Champions League, but I was fairly surprised that Liverpool still was sat up top of the table when you consider the last 10 games. I think we've got 23 points out of 30, but it doesn't feel like that, Gene. But Jake is saying get the contracts out of the way, wrap up the league in good style, and then show these players as well as the fans and the players, the rest of the players at the club that we mean business in the summer.
Yeah, and look, I've seen not just that, we've got other players that contracts need sorting as well. We've got obviously Kanate's contract that's been lingering in the background for a little while now. He probably wanted to know what's going to happen with Van Dijk and Salah, and getting these two of your biggest players already signed up. It shows the intent from Liverpool Football Club. And look, I had a feeling, I was deep down, I wasn't really too bothered how long it took. Two players that wanted to stay at the club, two players that proved their loyalty to this football club. I've always come out and said that they wanted to stay. More than another player that plays for Liverpool, who's our right back, who still hasn't signed a contract and looks like most likely he's going to be leaving the club. These two, I knew deep down that the club would get these two signed up, and especially with Trent not signing, there was always a pot of money there for us to actually go into and use that money for these two players. Had Trent signed, would it have been a different story? Maybe Liverpool wouldn't have been willing to go all out and give these two players the contracts that they were asking for. But look, we can only be happy if one player doesn't want to play for us. Fair play, see you later, goodbye. These two have shown their loyalty, they've shown their commitment, and I'm honestly, in terms of planning for the future, it's massive to get these two deals wrapped up now, because then, like you said, we get this hopefully title wrapped up. Stott will know exactly what he needs in the summer already. He knows his football team. He hasn't bought any players as yet. That probably Chiesa was probably a Richards Hughes signing, and hopefully in the summer we go again in terms of bringing in the right players. But it's massive for the football club, and it gives us a huge lift, a lift that we needed, because you mentioned last 10 games. Let's face it, as in few of them games, we got outplayed in them games, and we sort of faltered to a win, or got lucky with a win here and there that put the points on the board. So it's just about now getting to the end of the season, getting this title wrapped up, celebrating it, and showing. And this will show a lot of intent in terms of the players that we're going to go for as well. We've seen the likes of Kerkez, obviously you're going to probably speak about Kerkez and him liking that Romano's tweet or something. So that's intent from the football club.
Sarib, I was just about to say you must have got stuck in the traffic outside the Emirates, but they played yesterday, didn't they?
I don't know, mate. I'm a Liverpool fan.
I'm only joking, Sarib. You know I love you.
We're still going to do this. We're still going to do this. This guy at the top, he tweets more about Arsenal. Not Eugene. I'm trying to think.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
More about Arsenal. Oh, structurally, Arsenal, man-to-man press and Arsenal off the ball, the transition and all this bollocks, mate. He's the one that tweets about Arsenal. I didn't even watch the game. I was at work. I was making money.
Sarib, the problem is with you is you come on the channel and talk about, you used to come on the channel and speak about how amazing they were to a Liverpool channel. Yes, I can accept it on Twitter. You know what? There's other fans on there that are going to read it, fair play, blah, blah, blah. But you come on the Liverpool channel speaking about Arsenal. That's what was, I think we used to get but deep down, we all know. Look, we all know you're a Liverpool fan. I pull your leg all the time, and I do it on purpose. I'm not going to lie. But if I see any more love from Arsenal from you, and I know they played well yesterday, they played well, they got their win, and fair play to them. But that's all it is. Just don't mention Arsenal too much on this channel. That's all.
I didn't even mention the club. It was Asim first. It wasn't even me.
I'm just generally saying. I'm not saying now. I'm not saying now. Yeah, I think what's wrong with
Sarib, Mubarak on first of all.
What?
Sorry.
On what?
See what I mean? I give him Mubarak, and he doesn't. He asked me why. I'm
On
not
what
giving
though?
you Mubarak because of the contracts,
Oh, this is
not the Arsenal win.
Big up
Huh?
Andre. This is my good friend. This is my good friend. He's an
No
Arsenal
wonder
fan.
he's an Arsenal fan.
look at
Listen,
look at.
you asked for it then. Come on, he goes, this is a very good friend of mine. He's an Arsenal fan.
I
He is,
wanted
that's
to
why
move
he's-
on. I wanted to move on. He wanted to stay. Sarib, contract news. Great, massive news. We were just discussing the idea of why Liverpool put the news out today. Was it deliberately done? Was it just a natural thing? And I also want to bring that theory back of Robbie Fowler's, where he had a theory where he was saying Salah and Van Dijk are more or less done, and they're just waiting for what happens with Trent's contract. Do you think he had something there, or was it the fact that Liverpool just had a breakthrough with Salah and Van Dijk? And what Gene suggests that, as soon as they got the news of Trent, that pot of money went to these two, and that's why there's a breakthrough. Where do you lie within the conspiracies?
I mean, I don't think there's any conspiracy, but I can see where you're coming from. Obviously, we've known that Trent's leaving Liverpool for quite a while, and Fabrizio Romano put in the tweet as well that Trent is close to Real Madrid anyway. So it does make sense. We did offer Trent quite a lucrative package, and it is some wages off the bill that will probably go to Van Dijk and Salah. But for me, it was never about the money for them two. It was more about the contract length. For me, it was never about the money or what they want. It was about more, are Liverpool willing to give them the years on that wage? And that was the only problem. And obviously, it looks to be a 2-year extension for both of them, which is probably not what they wanted. They probably wanted a 3-year, but Liverpool gave them a 2-year. And you know what? I can see why. But the main thing here is that this saga that's been going on for months and months and months and months, lingering from the summer, it's finally come to a close. And whether with Trent as well, we're still going to hear news about him. And I know you're hopeful, Asim, that he does a U-turn. I'm sure Jake, Gene, and all the Liverpool fans are too as well. I'm not really that bothered if he leaves or not, to be honest.
You know what I didn't like today, Sarib, and
What?
over the course of the weekend, and even yesterday when Arsenal were beating Real Madrid, a lot of accounts tagging Trent, like, why you're a rat, you're a snake. I just find that
it's weird. It's very strange.
Behavior very, very strange. But
they do the same thing with
even today. Make it about Salah, make it about Van Dijk. Wax lyrical about their loyalty, but tagging Trent, do you think that's going to convince him to stay? And if he does, how bad will that make you look?
Exactly.
But
and that's what I'm saying. Like, ultimately, I think we all know that Trent's leaving, but until it's not done, there's still some optimism that it can happen. And you've been tweeting us and was all like, I hope he does a U-turn and this and that. And I think
I hope he does. I hope he does.
Yeah, no. We all do. But look, this is not about Trent. This is about Salah and Van Dijk. And I always said, out of the three, Salah and Van Dijk are the most important. Trent, you could say Trent is the best in the position. That's fine. But I think the gap from Trent to the next right back is not that big. But you look at Van Dijk and the next centre back, I think it's quite a margin. Salah, you can't replace 40 goals a season. It's impossible from that right-hand side. So I think if we're going to lose one, I'd rather it be Trent than Van Dijk and Salah, because they have been pivotal to our success. Not that Trent hasn't, but when you think about Champions League, winning games, the trophies, you think of Van Dijk and Salah and Alisson, then you think of Trent. That's the point. But look, finally it's done, and finally we can just win this league title and invest in the summer. And that's all we need.
Jake,
this is the start.
This is the start. I hope so. Jake, I want to ask you the same question again, probably asked everyone around the table a million times. I know hindsight's a great thing, but if you had a choice and I told you only one leaves, would you have had it this way, where Trent leaves, although he's in his prime of his career?
That's what I was going to say. I mean, the question is difficult because of the age of the three players. By far, and I say by far, Trent is the worst out of the three. However, he's also by far the youngest out of the three. So we're talking about from a longevity standpoint, he can offer you, quality play, if you will, for far longer than Salah or Virgil are going to offer. Trent can offer you another, 7, 8, 9 years of service, quality service, and 6, 7 of those potentially at an elite level. You're not going to be able to get that from Salah or Van Dijk. But at the same time, those other two are far better than Trent right now. So to answer your question, I would still choose to keep the two that we're keeping over Trent. But that's the reason why the question becomes difficult, is because the age of the three players.
That's true. It's very true.
Would you agree with that, Sarib?
Of course, I think it'd be stupid not to agree with that, to be honest. It's 26 versus coming up to 34 in both of them. It's basically common sense, and Mother Nature doesn't wait for no one, as you can see by Avi. Mother Nature doesn't wait for anyone. But look, my main thing is, I think we can find a suitable right back that would fit Slot's system. I don't think Trent's influence on this team. I said at the start of the season, I know the underlying numbers might showcase that, but I think this season much more conventional. You can probably find a conventional rival. You got Connor Bradley. Connor Bradley's fine. Bring someone else with him, and I think we'll be okay. But we lost Van Dijk. That's a hole. And we saw when Liverpool don't have Van Dijk, they're a problem. When Liverpool don't have Salah, they don't score goals. When Trent's not playing, Liverpool can still get by, and that's the difference. I think so anyway.
Asim, you asked the same question to us, I think, about 6 or 7 months ago, and I had Salah, Van Dijk, and Trent, and in that order, in terms of importance and in terms of who I wanted to stay at this football club. And over the season, I've seen that, yes, when we are as reliant on Trent, yes, we might suffer in terms of creativity in games where we miss that killer ball from him, we miss that quality. But I believe in the summer, if Slot gets his way and brings in players that make sense, that make us improve, then I believe that it will enhance it in Liverpool in the way he wants to play. So it'll be interesting to see how we get on in the summer. Look, there's no doubt about his quality. We've lauded him for 6-7 years now. What an unbelievable footballer he is. He's a generational talent, and I can accept all of that. But he's a player that wants to leave. If a player wants to leave, pack your bags, because we don't really, you're gonna have to move on. And right now, I'm all for what Slot wants to do. Just get this title wrapped up. These were the two big ones that we needed signing, and if they've agreed to sign, and hopefully by the reports that it's going to be done very, very soon, we can only be really, really happy about this move, and we go into this summer with a title, and where Slot has to be back properly now, Asim. And I think that's the key. Back him properly in the summer. Get his players in that he wants, and he will make us go again. We can't doubt Slot. He's taken over from Jurgen Klopp, one of the greatest managers of this football club, and inshallah going to deliver the title in his first season. That is huge, and that just by that you have to trust the manager, and I trust him in terms of what he's going to hopefully do in the summer. We've seen links to Kerkez, as I spoke to earlier. It looks like seems like a deal that's done. Hopefully he will give us a massive boost on that left hand side. It's just about being able to take away all the play, because Trent had most of the ball. He was our creative player in that sort of sense. If we're not reliant upon our right back to be the creative spark, then it's okay. I don't think we're going to miss him as much as we have in previous years. And Sarib has mentioned that on obviously a couple of the shows last time. We're not going to miss him as much because all our creativity was done from him. He was such a pivotal player in our team, but we're not going to rely on the right back as much, hopefully.
Yeah, I agree.
I disagree with that, Gene. I think people are...
Oh, yeah, you just love Trent Alexander-Arnold and you will always back him.
No, because I think people are underestimating the importance of Trent.
Let's call him Asim Bellingham.
No, no.
Okay, go on. Let him speak.
Look, the numbers don't lie, Gene. I know what you're saying. He probably spends a little less time in the center of the pitch, where Gravenberch and McAllister are the main conductors and tempo controllers of the football. But if you look at the numbers, his influence is still very, very large in terms of assists, in terms of pre-assists, in terms of that ball over the top for Salah, that ball into midfield from right back, and then driving forward. Obviously, he's not keen to drive forward as much as Bradley is, and we've talked about his strengths over the last 3-4 months. But I think Liverpool are underestimating the influence of Trent. You check out the numbers. But what I would say is, what we need to do is we can't go and get an 18 and 19-year-old to say, okay,
I don't think we'll do that, Asim.
I'm happy with someone like Frimpong, and people are going to throw stones at me and saying, why do you want a wing back rather than a full back? But I'm only saying that is because, one, I don't think the right back market is great, Gene.
Yeah.
Two, I think I'm happy with that. If Gomez stays at the club, he can be a third option at right back. So we've got a defensive option if we need. And then I think we can do Bradley. If we can't, Bradley's fine. And I tweeted it last week or last Sunday. I think he's the best right back that we've got compared to the ones that we've been linked to.
Agreed.
Javier Martin. They're all 18, 19-year-olds. Conor Bradley, to be fair to him, is at a later stage in his development. And I know it's a small sample size, but he's proven in the Premier League at the moment from what we've seen, decent performances. But I take Frimpong. Especially,
Asim, look, for me, it's not about signing a right back that is going to be a creative right back. If we sign a player like Kerkez, who likes to bomb forward, that gives us something different that we've not seen this season. So already, the way we play is going to slightly change. this is what I say when I say let's trust Slot in what he wants to do. If he might tweak into a system where we're not as reliant on the right back as much, where the left back bombs forward, or the he brings in a midfielder, or he brings in a flipping a 10 who's a bit more creative. We're gonna have to just wait and see us in where that creativity might lie in different areas now, because he might bring
100%.
in players that are gonna take that creativity away from the right back. I believe that's what he's gonna do, because we are reliant on Trent. I'm not gonna disregard how good Trent has been, especially over the last 6-7 years. But this season, Asim, look, you might back it up with stats when say he's had 10 assists. So I don't know his number of assists right now this season. I don't know, but I don't see. Sorry,
it's 5 or 4.
Well, if we're going by assists, his numbers have dropped. I know he's had some injuries this season as well, but if you're going by assists, his numbers have dropped. His influence on the game isn't as much as it was in previous years. That's what I'm trying to say.
I can buy that.
Yeah,
I can buy that.
And this season, and I'm not gonna lie, I haven't really seen him be as yes, that Newcastle game where we needed him, he came on and changed the game. Right? He was brilliant when he came on. Maybe there was another 1 or 2 games where we said, you know what, they were Trent games. Bar that, Asim, can you really think of more than 3 games this season where you thought Trent, he was the one?
You know the reason why? One of the main reasons why I don't want a defensive right back is because I don't want Salah to be picking up the ball from the halfway line at the age of 33.
Agreed.
And we've had a little small sample size in the last month. But if he's picking the ball up on the halfway line, people think, what is he doing? I want Salah picking up the ball further up and tucked in slightly where he's receiving the ball. Sorry?
Simple fix then. Like Jake was saying all those months ago, just move Szoboszlai deeper. It's very simple. You move Szoboszlai deeper, he covers the right hands, he covers the right space. You don't need a right back that's bombing up and down.
Where do you move Szoboszlai?
You play him. Look, Jake was right. Now I understand. So I apologize to Jake first and foremost.
No. Where do you play him?
I think
Jake wasn't right, by the way. Jake wasn't, according to myself. But you explained to me why he was right.
I can see why he was saying put Szoboszlai in a pivot. I can see it. He's off the ball.
Who do you take out of the team?
That's the problem.
Yeah, come on, man. So you can't take out Gravenberch and McAllister right as of right now, Sim.
I don't. In my opinion, I don't personally believe Szoboszlai at the moment. You can disagree, but this is my opinion, and whether you agree with it or not, I don't think he's good enough to be started. I think we can get better in the 10 than Szoboszlai. So I think Szoboszlai.
I understand that point. That point.
I genuinely think Szoboszlai deeper would be undroppable. Personally, I think his work.
Sarib, it doesn't work. It doesn't work because you just said Szoboszlai needs to cover Trent and cover Salah. For him to do that, Szoboszlai needs to play where Gravenberch is right now to cover the right hand side. If Gravenberch stays there, Szoboszlai plays from the left, then he's covering the left hand side. Generally speaking,
that's the issue.
So that's what I mean. It's not easy saying just drop Szoboszlai deeper.
That would make, with the personnel that we have now, that would make the most sense to me. If we get a defensive right back and you don't want Salah picking up the ball from the halfway line not from the areas that he normally picks up the ball, you then need somebody that plays that kind of the protector role, or somebody that kind of does the work, like Szoboszlai was doing on the overlap last year for Salah.
Park this conversation for a second, because there have been some more breaking tweets from Fabrizio, and I want to come to.
I apologize.
I want to come to Jake. Saudi were interested in Van Dijk, Jake, according to Fabrizio Romano. They offered him an important financial package, but he decided to commit his future to Liverpool. And there's another tweet from him. Mo Salah never entertained the Saudi Pro League. He wanted to stay at Liverpool. There's been a lot of talk about loyalty, Jake, over the last 5-6 months, and these two have shown nothing but loyalty.
Yeah, listen, I mean, from a fan's perspective, you can't ask for anything more from your 2 best players. Both of these players have basically come out during the course of the last 9 or 10 months, whatever the case is, and both have expressed how much their desire is to remain at the club. And as fans, that's all that we can really ask for. But we're not the ones that are negotiating these contracts. And I talked about this a little bit earlier on the group chat. You got to give the club credit, in my opinion, for playing their cards right. I think that they knew how much these players wanted to stay at this club, and I think they also knew they were going to be able to tie down these contracts this late if they wanted to kick the can down the road for whatever reason that is, whether that's financial reasons, whether that's negotiating purposes, whether that's making sure that these players are still able to play at an elite level for a full season, whatever the case might be. and as frustrating as it's been for the last 10 months with us questioning, the club's desire, whether they want to win, whether they're going to get these contracts sorted or not, at the end of the day, they got the contracts done. And I'm with Sheen 100% when he says to me, it doesn't make a difference if these deals were done in August or if they're now done in April. At the end of the day, the deals are done. And we're sitting first place, 11 points clear. You can't use these contracts as an excuse to say, it affected the season. Clearly, it didn't affect the season. So what did they really lose by negotiating with these players for the last 10 months? Nothing. So I give the club credit for playing their cards as well as they did. Was there some risk involved? Absolutely, there was risk involved. But at the end of the day, they got the contract sorted. But to answer your question, these two players are legends. They're legends of this football club. They're going to be lifelong legends, and beyond our lifetime, they're going to be legends. And aside from their play on their field, their desire to stay at the club speaks volumes about their character, both of them.
I do want to mention though one thing. I know we're all excited about the Van Dijk and Salah, but I personally believe that this should have been sorted out a long time ago. Now, we have known this ownership to do this quite a lot, where they kind of make you take the eye off the ball of what's actually going to happen. Now, I know there was an article saying Liverpool are going to move away from Isak. The financial package is too high. So I will say, although this is contract news is very, very good, I don't want us to lose focus. There's still other things that need to be addressed, that even though these contracts have been signed, I don't want that to be a thing where the fans jump on this and they completely forget that we still need a striker, a left back, a right back, and a centre back, and half a team. That's the point. This is the start of going into a transition. This is the start.
To be honest, I'm not buying that notion that some of this fan base is going to give the ownership a pass for getting these two deals.
No, not pass. I think that it diverts attention away from the real issues.
I don't think so. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think that's even. I don't even think that's a possibility for it to happen. That doesn't necessarily mean we're going to spend big in the summer, but to suggest that people are just going to forget that we have holes in this team because we signed Salah and Van Dijk, that's not going to happen. That's not a realistic scenario.
Not forget. I mean, more like, it's not going to be the complete noise now.
I'm not buying that. I'm not buying that at all.
It's like a blanket. It's a blanket. It's cold. You put a blanket on yourself. You get warm. You take it off. You're going to be cold. It's the same thing.
I'm not buying that.
We know that. We know that it's cold out. We know that it's going to be cold. You put something to cover over it, you're going to be warm. And the same with Salah and Van Dijk. We know we need a striker, left back, centre back, right back, half a squad, half a team. And this is the start of
Jake Sarib has a point though, where I think what he's saying is brilliant. This club has got these two deals over the line. The only reason why they haven't got Trent is over the line, the club will say, and the sort of message that we've been receiving up until. There will be one day where Trent comes out and gives his story. Whether you want to believe it, that's entirely up to yourself. But at the moment, it's one-way traffic where this lad doesn't want to stay at the club, and that's why he's not signing. Yeah. But what Sarib is saying is, okay, but you expect big clubs, to sign their best players, re-sign their best players, albeit at the age of 32. You have to judge them by their performances, and by their performances, they will still one of the best players in the world. But come the summer, you still need to show ambition in the market, where you still need a striker. Go get that striker. You need still a left winger. Go get that left winger. You need a centre back. Go get that centre back. That's right, isn't it? No.
Yeah, but that's not what he's saying. What he's saying is, no. What you're saying is, because we signed these two contracts, that the fan base is going to let the ownership group off the hook if the summer window doesn't happen.
I said I don't want it to be a case where this situation.
He hopes it doesn't.
It takes the eye off the ball because of the good news now, because we know we need all these players, and this has come out at a time where it's not that far.
That's exactly what I just said. That's exactly what I just said.
I just don't want it to be because we know what this ownership do. I think they're quite manipulative in sometimes the way they move. This is the bare. Salah and Van Dijk extending is the bare minimum, but now it's come out. It's taken so long to arrive that it's such a big thing. This should have been done last year. But it's happened now.
It's happened.
For me, I'm
not disagreeing with any of that. I'm not.
Minimum. This is the bare minimum for me.
But it happening in April with respect, Sarib. I think come the summer, will Liverpool know that there are areas that we really need addressing, and they have to address it. There's no, we didn't sign anybody last summer. Slot didn't get the players that he wanted, and it's only fair that this manager gets what he wants in terms of taking this team forward, and he will get that. I'm confident that we will get the players in the positions. Let me just, I don't want to say the players we want. I'm confident we will sign the players in their positions, meaning a striker, meaning a left back, meaning a centre back, and meaning a left winger if Diaz leaves, I believe we will make them 4 signings. Whether it's going to be the players that I want in terms of, we all want Isak. Some of you, Kerkez, I think, he's probably the first one through the door, like Alex says. That practically seems like it's a done deal. And then you've got the likes of Diaz replacement, a centre back, Huijsen if he's available. And I think it's key that, but I do trust him. That's one thing that I will say about these guys is when they make signings, they've got a very, very good hit rate. Generally speaking, over the last 7-8 years, yes, there's going to be some that didn't hit, but generally speaking, they've done well. So I'm going to go with it. If they want to sign Gay as their centre back, I accept it. They want to sign Kerkez. I'll be honest with you. I trust the board, and I trust Slot in making the right decision. So if they believe that this player is gonna look, I want Huijsen. I'm not gonna lie. If you said to me which centre back do you want, I want him. If we get him, fair play, and I'll be over the moon. But if they at least bring in players that in their position which is good enough, that Slot and the board believe that it's good enough. Okay, I know you do, but I will give him a chance. Saying okay, fine.
At the end of the listen, at the end of
I take him as a utility player. I don't want him as a Van Dijk replacement.
Oh, not a Van Dijk replacement, but a centre back. I'm talking as a centre back that we need.
Thank God that's not the case.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying he's the Van Dijk replacement, boys. I'm saying a centre back. That doesn't mean he's replacing Van Dijk.
Yeah.
Relax.
How old is Gay?
25,
26.
24.
No, he's
wow.
young. He's 24. He's 90. He's 2000 or 99. He's 99. He's from Cobham.
Whilst you're checking his age, good to see Shahid. Probably trying to catch up on some sleep. It's probably about 3 a.m. in Pakistan. Good to see Shahid as ever. He's asking when is the official announcement coming, and we need Huijsen and Kerkez. Let's get these two over the line.
He's
Let's get them. 24.
He's young.
Wow.
He's a captain as well as a leader as well.
Wow.
But Jake
I've got a bit about him, man.
I want to ask you. I want to ask you about what Ali's been asking.
I can hear you.
Sorry, Sarib, I want to get this super chat. We've been getting told off. We go to the super chats late, so I'm sorry. I'm coming to you.
I apologize of his behavior, Jake. He's got main character syndrome today. Anyway,
I'm sorry. I was trying to read the chat. I didn't realize you two were talking. LFC Celtic, big up for your super chat. Yes, the boys. This is easily the best Liverpool channel on YouTube. Keep up the good work, brothers. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a picture of that and I'm going to put it on Twitter because we don't promote ourselves enough. So there we are.
Why are we acting like that's something not normal? You put everything on Twitter. Oh, I had a shit. Put it on Twitter. Oh,
we don't put this enough. We don't put this enough.
You put everything on Twitter.
We don't put this enough, and that's the reason why we've just hired a clipper. Zach, he's even changed his name. Bless him. I want to ask you about this, Sarib or Jake, since you're complaining about mic time. Ali says, Asim, you said there were pay cuts. No, mate. I still believe, and I had this conversation with you, Jake, earlier on. I think this is not a coincidence that we've heard that there's a breakthrough between with Van Dijk and Salah deals. I think the moment the club knew that Trent is off to Real Madrid, it's a simple maths where his pot of money went to these two, and it's not a coincidence it took a week or two to get it over the line. Would you agree with that, or do you think something's different happened?
I think that's too simplistic, because it's not. You have to look at it a little bit more. It's a little bit more complex than that, because it's not like you have 3 players, Trent, Virgil, and Salah, and let's just say there's a bucket of money. Let's just call it $1 million. Obviously, it's more than $1 million, but let's use $1 million as a simple number here. It's not like you have $1 million between 3 players and that's it. There's still a budget that needs to be spent for summer players that need to come in. So you can't just say, okay, Trent's not going to be here, so then just give whatever we're going to give to Trent to Mo and Virgil, and then there are no more signings that are necessary. If you don't pay Trent, there's still other players that you need to pay over the summer. That doesn't mean you can't shorten the list of players that you want to bring in over the summer and offer more to Virgil and Salah, but you have to take all of that into equation. It's just not as simple as that. Now, does that mean that I don't think that, pay cuts were discussed? I have no idea. Joyce came out today and said that never happened. Does that mean what he's saying is true? No, not necessarily, but the club obviously wants to put that out there because they're hearing the same things that a lot of us were hearing, which is, we thought the club were offering them these players a pay cut if they wanted to stay here. So I don't know what the truth is, but I don't think it's as simple as, all right, Trent, you're not going to be here. Let's just offer what we're going to offer to Trent, to Virgil, and
Surely it
Salah,
made it
because
easier.
it definitely made it easier. That's for sure. And if they wanted to offer that money to them, they could. But there's more players that need to be brought in here that are going to cost money also, that also need to be
Yeah.
factored in to the
Yeah.
equation,
Yeah, 100%.
because there's only so
Chief,
much money. They know what the budget is, and it's probably a hard budget that they can't go over. So if you don't pay Trent, the money's got to go somewhere, whether it's Virgil or Mo or Isak or Hoyson or Kerkez or Frimpong. They got to factor all this in.
Sarib, do you think there was pay cuts involved, or do you think there was a stalemate for other reasons? Because generally speaking, there can only, I think you're on mute, Sarib. Generally speaking, there can only be a couple of reasons why: length of contract and money. I know there's other things like rights and stuff like that, but if you really want to get a breakthrough, it's generally these two, isn't it?
Yeah, but I can see what you're saying about the pay cuts, and I think we've seen in the past when Mane left and people are saying that his wage has gone on top of Salah. Whether you choose to believe that or not is a different argument, but I think it was more to do with the with the contract length rather than the money that they were going to receive. I think.
But do you think it really takes almost a year, whatever it is, 9-10 months, for them to agree on 2 years? You think Liverpool are sitting on 1 year for a year, and then they say, okay, we're just going to offer you 2 now?
I think there must have been something behind the scenes where they knew that they probably said to Salah and Van Dijk, we're going to get to you right now. We just need to do this. And I don't know. It's all going to be speculation until somebody actually says it.
It's hard for me to believe that the years, I'm not saying that the years were
I don't know.
a stumbling block, but there's no way that was the main one. It's got
I try to listen.
I genuinely believe it was contract length. That's what I genuinely believe what it was.
I don't think so.
But only after the Man United game, I think it was, Salah came out and he goes, "I've not even received an offer."
Yeah, that as well.
No, was it the Man United game where he said we're
this is my last time playing United at this moment. No, that was
after the Southampton game. He said, "I'm more out than in."
Yeah, that's when he said.
I don't remember the timeline, to be honest.
The Man United game is when he said,
"One
last
second."
Yeah.
Can you guys hear me?
Hmm.
Is it me or is it lag today?
There is a bit of lag.
I think
it feels like there's a bit of a lag, today. I don't know what it is. Wait. Right, honestly, Asim. I genuinely believe that that Liverpool went to try to lowball them at the start. That's what it was. They tried to lowball them in terms of their contract length and in terms of their wages because they were out a year. Then these players put on performances that proved to the board and everybody else that these players are not going anywhere. They're still the best players in the team, and so they thought, okay, let's wait and see how they get on. Let's try to run this contract as long as possible, and then let's see how the players actually get on to see what happens. In terms of lowballing, I mean, they wanted them to on reduced terms. The players weren't going to back Asim. That's why it's taken so long. I don't understand how Jake says, how does it take this long to sort out the length of a contract, which is 1 year, or if it isn't money? That's the only truth that you can. What else is it?
This is true.
If it's the length of the contract, I can sort of get, yeah. But if it isn't, and truth is, we all knew deep down that both of these players, including everybody else out there, probably the players deep down, they might have wanted 3, but deep down, they were only ever going to get 2 years. And deep down, we all know that they were going to accept the 2 years. So it was always going to be about the money, Asim, not about the length of the contract. For me, it was always going to be about money. And these players wanted it on the same terms because they're still the best players. They proved it over the year. So Liverpool Football Club had no choice in a way to then give them exactly what they want because they've proved it over the year. So now they're at a stage where they didn't have a choice. They have to give them the players what the money that they deserve, and they deserve that the contracts that they're going to get.
I'll tell you why.
The performances prove that.
I'll tell you why I don't think it's about money, because there's been many reports today that Van Dijk and Salah have turned down lucrative contracts from other clubs.
So you're out money for laying for Liverpool, not other clubs.
Yeah, so then that's why for me it's not about money, because if it was about money, they would have just left. That's what I'm trying to say. What
was it?
That's not correct. That's not correct at all.
That's why I think it's not about the money. I think it's about the length of contract.
Let me break it to you this way, very simply. If you're on $1 million a year, right? And you can get $5 million a year from Saudi, and you say no, thank you. But now you're on $1 million right now, and I'm offering you, listen, you need to take a pay cut and take 500,000. Just because you're saying no to 5 million doesn't mean you're going to say yes to 500,000. If I come back to you and offer you $1 million, the same terms you're on now, and you accept it, it still means it's not about money, but you're not willing to take a pay cut to stay. It's a big difference.
So that's what I'm trying. But that's why I believe the whole situation is not. It's about finance. Do you believe that Liverpool asked Salah and Van Dijk to take a pay cut? Is that what you believe?
I think that makes the most sense to me.
Of course, that's the only way. What else would make sense then?
This is why I'm trying to explain to Ali, but Ali reads a little headline and gets excited.
It's not about what I don't
think that
understand
makes
what
the
else
most
it can
sense to
be.
me.
I don't know, man. I still think that it's down.
Everybody knows they were never going to accept 1 year, and Liverpool were never going to offer 3. So 2, it doesn't take a year to figure out.
Yeah, but what I also would say is, I'm
No,
with you a bit, Jake, but I think the club took a bit of advantage where they knew Virgil van Dijk and Salah were probably the easier deals to do because of their enthusiasm to stay at the club.
They played their cards right. You have to give the club credit for that. They played their cards correctly.
It's manipulation. That's what it is.
Yeah,
it's not even manipulation. It's contract negotiation. I respect the club for doing the right thing. Salah and Van Dijk could have dropped off. Look, the truth is, if they dropped off really badly this season and they signed a contract in October, we would have been absolutely peltering the owners. But right now, if they fall off now, next season they fall off, you can't back the owner. You can't go against the owners because they did exactly what we asked them to do. That is, get the players to perform this season. They performed, got us the title, and got them to sign a contract for 2 years, both of them. You can't ask any more from the owners in terms of contracts. The other one wants to go, so that's not on them anyway. That's how it goes.
Do you think there's a case where, Asim said about, do you think they've put Trent's money on top of Salah and Van Dijk? Do you think there's a case where Liverpool are going to try to keep Trent one more time? Do you think?
I think Liverpool's offer will always be there for Trent, but they're also realistic as well. They might have set a deadline for him, and this is probably the reason why. It has coincided with the fact that he's got injured, and Liverpool thought, okay, this is what the hell? What's happened? That it coincided with the fact that he got injured. So Liverpool thought, you know what, it's probably a good time to get this news out. I think it was the best interest of Trent as well, if he's not on the pitch, and he's made his decision to get this news out as well. So it probably just suited both parties. In the fact, all the original questions, Sarib, that
I said. So you said about, do you think they've put Trent's wage on top of Salah and Van Dijk, and you just said to me that the offer will still be there. So then you're saying to me is that that's not the case.
But I also, to a certain extent, I think the offer would have been there. But I think Liverpool needed to know by this last international break, because I think general consensus within, even if you're not inside the workings of football, you do know that this is when the manager sits down in these couple of weeks that have just gone by us with the sporting director and whoever it concerns, and they shortlist their players. They've probably done a bit of groundwork as well with the first couple of targets, and they make their mind up. And I think they probably set a deadline to Trent and his team, saying, look, you need to give us an answer. If not, we're doing what we need to do. And maybe that's when the news has come out.
Because this changes the dynamics a little bit. If you would ask me this question a few days ago, it'd be a little bit different of an answer. But now that you got Van Dijk tied down for presumably 2 years, if Konate doesn't sign an extension early this summer, are you selling him this summer?
Well, he's only got 1 year left, hasn't he?
People don't understand. He's so replaceable, though. He's got 1 year left on his deal. You're going to lose him on a free transfer. Just sell him in the summer. We got Van Dijk and Salah signed.
What if he says, I don't want to go, Sarib? Then what?
And then what can we do? Well, what can we do? But I think Liverpool this summer, if he doesn't sign a new contract, we'll be looking to sell.
You're underestimating how good Konate is, and I understand you don't think he's world class. You suggesting he's easily replaceable is not that easy.
No, compared to Virgil and Salah. Sorry, let me say that. I think compared to
compared to them too.
That's fair, but he's still a very good center back.
If we had lost Virgil then it would have been an issue with Konate. But we've kept Virgil, and Virgil can make anybody next to him look good. He made Dejan Lovren look like one of the best defenders in the world. He had him believing that he's up there as one of the best defenders in the world. I know Matip is
So
a
let
bit
me ask
different.
you this.
Anyone that plays next to Van Dijk looks really good.
If Konate is willing to stay, let me ask you this. If Konate is willing to stay, but you get an $80 million offer or $70 million offer from PSG, you're selling him.
Wow.
Interesting. Okay.
I think he's good. I think
no
he's good,
chance.
There's
No
centre-backs on the
chance from
market.
selling Ibu Konate, mate. No chance.
I'm not
Someday
selling
I've
him.
seen who's
Assuming he wants
that?
to stay.
Who's
if he doesn't
that?
want to stay, what if he doesn't want to
Who's
stay?
that
You're
good?
selling him?
If he doesn't want to stay, then sell. Simple. You're going to
Who's
lose him
that
on a free.
good?
What do you mean?
Who's as good as Konate that you can go and buy for 60, 70 million? No, 60, 70 million. Give me him. Give me the names. It's easy to say that there's other centre backs out there. Give me names that you believe are better than Konate that are buyable in this market for 60, 70 million.
We can't get Bastoni, no?
You're getting that hoisting.
Oh yeah,
kid.
Bastoni's not going to leave Italy, man. You're bringing up names. He's a
No,
left-footed centre back who plays left back. Gone.
No, but we speak about Isak, and that's so unrealistic. But when we speak about Bastoni, it's a problem. I don't understand.
Yeah, but you don't. Sarib, it's like me wanting Barella. I've wanted Barella for 5 years. Are you going to get him out of Inter Milan in Italy, come to play for Liverpool?
That's why when we
Respect.
speak about
Are you going to do that? It's not going to happen, is it?
So then we shouldn't even speak about Alexander Isak then.
No, but Isak is different. There's a price that you, because the player wants to move. He wants Champions League football. If Newcastle don't get Champions League football, he's available for 120 million. You pay the door, he's coming to you. You can pay 80 million to Barella, he ain't coming.
How many times?
It's easy to just throw names, man.
You put down money
and
for
the player
the
way that's going to play the Liverpool way. That's going to play on the halfway line and say, okay, Tika, that's going to cover the right hand side the way he's been covering. Look, it's easy to just say he's had some really bad games this season. I can accept that. That Ibu Konate has had some really bad games this season. Huh?
That's not what I'm saying. The reason why I'm saying I'd sell Konate is the main thing for me. I think he's good. But I think in the way people speak about him, I don't think he's that good. I still think he's very, very good centre back, right? But you said to me, if he wants to leave Liverpool this summer and we get 80 million for him, would I sell? Yes. Because I think
he said would he? No, he said would he? He didn't say that wasn't the question.
You said Bastoni. Is Bastoni a direct replacement for Konate?
It's a left-footed centre back, Asim, man. He's not
That's
even
my point. That's my point.
It'll make us much more solid. And I do believe
you can't play a left footer where Konate plays.
Why?
Unless you play, huh?
Why?
When have you seen?
Top move on.
You don't think Virgil
play left-sided centre back? Play right-sided centre back.
You don't. I mean, Jarrell Kwanzaa used to play left-sided centre back for when he was.
Yeah, but he's right-footed. He's right-footed.
Yeah, what foot is Van Dijk? Right, so he can play on the right centre back. No,
I can't remember a left-footed centre back. Prove me to name me one that's a left-footed centre back that plays on the right-hand side.
No,
I can't really remember.
Bastoni on the left, Van Dijk on the right.
Oh, he moves Van Dijk to the right.
Yeah, what's the problem?
Okay, I can see that. I can understand that.
Kwanzaa was the same. Kwanzaa played left side his whole when he was in his Liverpool.
He's a right back though, innit? He
plays. But he played on the left. What do you mean he's different? He was a left-sided centre back. He's playing on the right centre back. And somebody told me for this as well. And I said to them, he's going to start. This was against Crystal Palace. Somebody had a go at me saying, "How are you playing Kwanzaa, a left-sided centre back at right centre back?" And then he apologized to me because Kwanzaa was playing right-sided centre back. You're not going to take Van Dijk out.
Right-footed, yes. So you're not, exactly. If you're not going to move Van Dijk, then you're not. Where is he going to play? This left-footed centre back isn't going to play on the right side. That was the question. He's not going to do that, is it?
Even for me,
even then, Sarib, I don't want Van Dijk doing Konate's job at the age of 34.
That I understand, which is why I'm hopeful that he extends, because I think, look, he is a good player. He's young and he can improve. But if he wants to leave and we get 80 million for him, why don't we just sell? And we're going to be in the same situation.
80 million is a lot of money, Gene.
You know what I'm saying? 80 million. We can sign a centre back. Two decent centre backs. Get
me the centre backs. You'll realize when a player like Ibu Konate goes, you'll realize then. When it's easy to say there are other centre backs out there, Sim, to come and play the Liverpool way where we play high. It's very easy to say. Tika, now go get me the other centre backs. I want to see how well they do. And give me, you named one player who's a left-sided centre back who plays for Inter Milan, who you can't even get that player out of. Yeah, that team out of. Come on, bro, you can't get that player out of the team. Or anyway, carry on.
Yeah, Lukeba is another one, guys. He's a left-sided centre back or a left back.
I think he's okay. That guy, it doesn't move me. That
much. I don't class him as an Ibu Konate replacement.
Same.
By the way, we don't sign the players from Italy because Sarib doesn't rate him, by the way. So I don't know why we're even talking about what's his name, Bastoni.
I said Germany, not Italy. What are you on about?
I'm in a laugh with you, man. Chill out, you know.
What about?
Chill out. I'm laughing with you. I'm in a joke with you, man.
Okay,
Right, well, let's go to
let's move on.
That was such a small.
So, I don't know if you've been seeing it. Mr. Kerkez has been liking a lot of Liverpool tweets. Sarib, what do you think? Is he just teasing us, or do you think that deal is done now? I saw your tweet earlier. You've become a bit of an ITK recently, but give us the update on Milos Kerkez.
I think this just screams Alexis McAllister 2023, to be honest. I think even during the season, we already knew that this deal was done. I think Liverpool have done the groundwork on him. I think Richard Hughes has made some boss calls, and I think he kind of knows. Bro, like, the tweet was out for 20 minutes, and he's liking it. He's liking Salah contract extensions. He's liking Van Dijk contract extensions. Like, it's all making sense, and he's posting pictures of him and Szoboszlai doing this, and when they're on international, you're like, come on, he knows what he's doing. He's not stupid, right? Like, he's younger than me, and I'm an idiot, so imagine what he's doing. Like, you know what I mean? This is the most... If you're a betting man, which we are not, I don't know about Jake, I would put £1 million on Kerkez to sign for Liverpool this summer. That is, I think is 90% done. If I'm being honest.
Jake,
we already knew in the season when McAllister was gonna join Liverpool. I think this is exactly the same.
Jake, do you believe him? Our in-house ITK today?
On ITK, that's my opinion.
Do I believe that we're likely to sign him? Yes. Am I going to go to the extent to say that it's 90% done? Probably not. I mean, if you track the story back all the way to the last summer, it was basically between us and United for this kid, and we all know that United made a signing for another player that probably is taken his position. So I don't know who else would be in for this kid. Not to suggest that other clubs won't be in for him, but it was always United against Liverpool for him. There was a point in time where we thought United were in the lead for this kid, but like I just mentioned, they're probably not in the race for him anymore. So it makes sense, but you know, with this club and with the transfer market, you know, it's never, you know, cut and dried until the deal is done.
That's fair. That's fair.
Dean, talk to me about Milos Kerkez. Every time I watch him play, honestly, that running power is really impressive.
Yeah, I rate him highly. Asim every time I've seen him. The first time I saw him at Anfield a couple of years ago, he impressed me in that game. And you know, he's a player that we really need right now. We need his directness. We need somebody to bomb up and down, because right now we don't really have that in terms of, especially when Bradley's not playing, as you mentioned. And we need a bit more pace in the team. And I've always called for this team pace in certain areas, in especially the wide areas. And you know, look, Robbo, you know, a great servant, done amazing for this football club, but it's time to move. And, you know, he should have, if I'm honest with you, I believe a left-footed left back should have definitely come in a year ago. But we've seen another season of him flourish at Bournemouth, as another season where he's really impressed us. And, you know, he's a player that obviously Richard Hughes knows we want. And him liking all these tweets, yes, you know, somebody mentioned he likes all of Romano's tweets, but I'm confident that we get this deal done, and it'll be a fantastic start to the window. If we can get
eight goal involvements from left back this season for Bournemouth. Pretty good for left back. That's Trent and Robbo numbers a couple of years ago. If I'm being honest, it's very good.
You know, if you wanted an example of what you want your left back to do today, I think we got that today from arguably the best left back in the world in Mendes. I thought he was absolutely brilliant. If you want an attacking left back, if you're a front foot team who play, you know, with the ball going forward, you take risks, and that's what Liverpool have always done under Klopp, and even not to a larger extent with Slot, but we still you know, play the football the right way. And if you want your left back to be at the top of the box, creating, you know, playing receiving back to goal, I think Mendes was a brilliant example of that. And then with his goal as well, taking it as a winger, unbelievable. And the best thing about him is when you lose the ball, he can run back and cover space and nick it back and go again. So I thought that is the level that you need to have. I think Kerkez has got, obviously he's not the level at Mendes, but he's got all the attributes to be a really good fullback. It's not very traditional of Liverpool, and especially FSG, Jake, to spend probably 45-50 million pounds. But I think Slot has really taken a liking to the player, and he's had first-hand experience of him this year. And they probably will have to pay about 40 to 45 million for him. Obviously, Liverpool, I know there's a Premier League tax as well. But we've been talking about it all season, Jake, that if you want good players, there will be 2-3 clubs, especially in the Premier League, for those players. And you have to pay a premium. And it just won't be about Kerkez. Whoever we go for, we'll have to pay an extra 10, 15 million pounds because everybody has got a laptop. Everybody has got the data analysis now. And everybody wants the good players.
You think a Kerkez Frimpong fullback partnership works?
It is very,
Going
very
forward.
attacking.
Going
It is
forward,
very
it works.
attacking. Very attacking. I think it works probably 80% of the time.
Yeah.
80%. Look at Villa today. Away to PSG, they dropped their main striker in Watkins.
Sorry, I have to put this. We've been tracking Milos Kerkez for a long time. Avi says our in-house ITK, fair play to the club if we get this over the line. Yeah, because some idiot on here came. This idiot Avi Asim came on. He was the first person to break the Kerkez news. He said, we want Kerkez. We are going to go for Kerkez. And fair play to the lad. Then he completely ruined it by saying, oh, we're not going to go in for him now because of the money that's been there. Now we're going to get him. But Chara did everything right, called the news, and still effed up.
He said
Avi,
Hato.
yeah. And then he said, Hato ho gaya. Hato ko nahi hoya.
It was a big mistake. But Chalo, look,
No,
one thing about
credit.
Aggie, he makes a
Easy.
mistake, he holds his hands up. He doesn't try to wiggle his way out. He says, look, that's fine. I just got it wrong. Simple as.
I will
But
be
he
honest
was
with
the
you.
first- He was the first guy to talk about. Remember, we did that Premier League team last season after about 7 games.
He was
That's when he
trolling.
mentioned him, to be fair
He
to
was
him.
tro-
No, he
Yeah.
wasn't. I'm telling
No.
you, he wasn't trolling.
He had Kerkez in his team of the season. Like this is
Yeah.
It was
nonsense.
after about 10
That's-
games, I think it was.
No. To be fair to Avi, regarding Kerkez, he always rated Kerkez. He's
I know,
always
I
said, no, that's one player I give him. Look, Avi, I give you your flowers, man. What's wrong with you? Relax, chill. I give you your flowers all the time. Why are you going crazy, man?
It was at AC Milan as well. Kerkez.
Yeah.
But look, I look at the market of left backs now. You got Mendes, you got Mendy, you got Gutierrez. He's up and coming. Also used to play for Real Madrid. You got Balde at Barcelona, Gvardiol. I'm looking at the market now. How many left backs are really out there that make Liverpool a really, really good team? And I think you look
Probably
at Milos
all of them.
Well,
are
they're a lot better
Robertson.
than Robbo and
No.
Come on, man.
No, like I'm talking to a high level. Like I'm talking about Liverpool level. There's not many left backs out there that you can sign that are not already at top clubs. I think Kerkez is one that maybe if he was at a, I'd say maybe what's the club like? If he was at Atletico Madrid or somewhere like that, he'd be getting much more flowers than he is. I genuinely believe that he's the best left back in the Premier League. People can say Gvardiol. I don't think he's had a great season. I think
Gvardiol's probably a different type of profile, isn't he?
yeah, he's a more
Kerkez is a
bombing
left
high
back
up and
slash
down.
wing back,
Yeah.
fullback slash wing back. Gvardiol is a centre back slash fullback.
Yeah.
It was between him and Nouri, and like Shahid says, probably him and Nouri, but probably the 2-1. Robinson, he's a decent
Nouri's
left back.
another
I
one.
know he's.
Robinson's
but-
another one.
People need to take into context. Robinson's on the higher end of 20s, where Kerkez
Yeah,
is
that's
on the lower
what if we're talking for just generally talking about left backs.
So it's like
these
Kerkez-
3 are probably up there.
Kerkez is the most perfect one you can probably go for. And I do believe in like the next couple of years. When
I'll tell you what, this guy's brilliant, man. Hall.
yeah, he's a good
Really,
one.
he impresses me every time I've seen him play. He's one.
Well,
Obviously, you can't.
he's
Difficult to
midfield-
get him out of Newcastle.
I think what I
basically.
would say is what I
All
would
his
say
class, man.
What I would
Midfielder.
say about Hall and to compare the two, I think Kerkez has got a lot more running power than Hall, but Hall is more
He's better
technical.
on the
Better
ball.
defensively. He's a better defensively as him as well. I'm telling
He was a
you.
midfielder.
Hall is
He's a
fantastic.
midfielder.
Probably. But
Hall
I
Like
think
is a
Trent,
really
he's a Trent, he's a midfielder. He's a midfielder. Yeah, he's played for youth days. Played midfield for Chelsea.
Mm.
Then he got moved
Wow.
to fullback. Tuchel. He played in the three, or was it Potter games? One of them gave him
Well,
his debut. He played at
what do you
Etihad.
think about Jake's question
What's Jake's question?
about does Frimpong and Kerkez work over the season?
I'm going to stick with your notion of it works 80% of the time. I think if we play an Arsenal or a Man City, we'll get absolutely annihilated if we don't have anybody that's covering that space, which is why I said, it was why I was suggesting that, because I don't
That's
think
what all
Liverpool
of you guys said about not having a real 6, and we haven't been annihilated by anybody.
Yeah, but
Sorry?
I think that we do give some chances away. But look, I think the point I'm trying to make is I think next season the teams are going to be better. You expect City to bounce back. You expect Arsenal to be better. When they do their business, you expect Chelsea to be up there. Spurs are going to obviously be better. United are going to be better. It's going to be a very competitive league next year.
We're going to be better.
Yeah, of course we're going to be better, but that's if we go and sign the players that we need to sign.
We will.
And
We will.
I've seen in the market previously that, you know, Spurs, Chelsea, not Spurs, Man United, Chelsea, Man City, Arsenal, they spend big, and where we just sit there and do nothing. But look, if we want that to work, I think we need to then get somebody in that number 6 role, which I don't think we're going to get. So the only thing I could suggest to somebody that could cover that space was Dominic Szoboszlai, because I don't think we're going to sign a number 6. We do need one, but I think I'll stick my prediction. I said early in the season, I think we're going to get Ekitike, Milos, Kerkez, and who did I say? One more. I said one more player. I forgot now, but I said 3 players we're going to sign. We're not going to sign any more than 3. Frimpong.
Right
That's
back
it.
to Frimpong.
Sorry, forgive me for saying, but I think you're absolutely mad for suggesting Szoboszlai can play the Gravenberch role.
No, I don't think he can, but I think that's what's going to have to happen. We need somebody that can cover the space, and I don't see anybody that can do that. I don't think we're going to go out and buy that player, because I think Frimpong and Kerkez will do those deals. But then if we have Gravenberch in there and we're in possession, we're out of possession, we're going to struggle massively. There's going to be too many holes. I think Gravenberch can't get around as quickly as maybe we want him to. Same with McAllister. They're technical midfielders, and you got Frimpong and Kerkez bombing up and down. Who's going to cover? You're gonna have Ibu Konate pulling 3 hamstrings this season. His 2 hamstrings are going to fall off, and then we're going to need a centre back, and then we're going to be absolutely done. So we need to go and sign the right profiles in the summer. They're going to have a really uncomfortable season. If we sign those players, by the way.
Jake, I want to come to you. It's a term that's been used on this channel, originated from this channel, from the main man, the big reset. Now, how do these contracts affect the big reset? I've always said 4-5 max, and I think this probably heads towards that direction now, where at the end of the day, as much as we want Liverpool to buy the likes of Isak and all these big players, 100 million signings, the old dream type of signings, but let's be honest and realistic, it's not going to happen. But these 2 signings of the Salah and Van Dijk has taken a chunk of the pot for the summer. How many signings do you think Liverpool will get now, realistically speaking?
I think I'm somewhere along the lines between you and Sarb. I'm thinking around 4.
Okay.
I think you're looking at a right back. I think you're looking at a right back. Excuse me, a left back for sure. 100% a left back is coming in. 100% a center back is coming in. 100% a striker is coming in. That's 3 for sure. And then I think maybe you can find one more, whether that's a midfielder, which probably isn't at the top of the list. Maybe a left winger if Diaz leaves. Maybe a right back. I think you're looking at around 4. But to answer your first question, when you're keeping Salah and Van Dijk, the notion of a great reset is completely out the window.
I still think we need like 6 players, I'll be honest.
I'm not saying we don't need them. I'm telling you what we're going to get. You're going to get 3 or 4.
Yeah, I think 3, personally. I think 3. I mean, Romano said we could get 3, we could get 4. It could be more, could be less. Again, it's still up in the air, and that's the problem. It shouldn't be could, it should be we will. That's what I mean. Do I really trust them to go and do that?
I believe we get 5 players this summer.
Yeah, I don't know what you're smoking, mate. No, it's never happened. It's not going to happen this summer.
5 players this summer.
Where do you find 5?
We signed 4 only a year and well, not this summer. We signed 4 midfielders. We signed 4 midfielders. Yes, a few, and these players, some of these are going to go. Trent's going to go. One of the left back is going to go.
That's 2.
There's exactly 2 going to go. Diaz is going to go. Nunes is going to go. These players are going to need replacing, Sarib.
You're at 4. Where else?
I've just given you 4 players that are going to leave.
I don't think Diaz leaves this summer now. You know that.
What are you on about? He's not going to leave. He's chutti, man. He's off.
I don't know.
Diaz is going, mate. They're going to cash in. They have to cash in. And his numbers don't make sense.
But just because players leave doesn't necessarily mean somebody's automatically coming in.
I agree. But the truth is, I still believe that we will bring in 4 players this summer.
Oh, 4
minimum. Sorry, 5 players this summer.
So what's the 5th one? A midfielder?
We get centre back, right back, left winger, and a forward. I think we're going to leave ourselves short in midfield.
After winning, midfield's going to get a little short also.
We're going to leave. I just get this feeling we're going to leave ourselves short in the midfield, because look, if I had the choice, I'm not going to lie, I would leave the right back. I would sign as a midfielder.
Who would you go with then?
What are you going to do at right? What are you going to do at right back?
Yeah, I'd go with Asim.
What are you going to do at right back when Bradley's hurt? Because that's going to happen.
Yeah, then you play Kwanzaa, play Gomez. Hopefully, this is what I think we're going to leave the right back area this summer. I think we're going to say, you know what, the area is not amazing right now. Number one, like we did with the left back this summer that's just gone, the last summer. Sorry, we left the right back left back area. I think we do the same this summer because we think, okay, we've still got 2 players that can sort of play that position. There's not a great market out there. There are pressing needs.
Which 2? You have Bradley and who?
Gomez or Kwanzaa, one of them can rotate as a utility player that's like Gomez is, and the others in terms of a centre back we need, a left back we need, a left winger we will need because I believe Diaz will leave. Obviously, Darwin's going to leave. We sign a striker, and I think we have to go and sort that midfield out. We need another player that's going to help Gravenberch. It's really important we go on, and I think they'll be the 5. Whether they're going to be the 5 that we really want in terms of Baleba, maybe not. But I think we will go and get 5 players.
But there also is a situation where Gomez could. Will he be the same player when he comes up from injury again? There's also Kwanzaa. I think he does need a loan move. There's that question mark as well. So I don't know, to be honest. I know we need more than 5. We need more than 5 players. I just don't see it happening all in one window. That's why I think if Liverpool next season finish 5th or 6th next season, then I can see it, because then you lose out on the Champions League money. Then we need to get back there, and that's when I see them.
Even when we lost out on Champions League, we didn't spend. That's this myth that if you
when we finish 5th,
fall out of Champions League, we're going to spend money has already been debunked.
No, but the year we finished 5th, we didn't make the Champions League. They gave us 4 signings. I know players left, but the Champions League money is so massive for Liverpool Football Club and the ownership. Like, there's very little difference between finishing 1st and 3rd in terms of revenue now. It's very little difference now. So I think for them, they just want to stay in that top 4, and if we win the league title, fine. And that's why I don't think the investment over the last 6-7 years has been to the level that it should be of champions of a Man City or even a Chelsea who have not won titles, but still they have invested heavily in their team. And I think we need that if we want to stay there, because Jake, we saw it when we didn't spend the money on players for many, many years. It eventually caught up to us, and why we dropped out from 1st to 5th. And to get back there, we need to spend money.
I'm not arguing that point. I agree with you there.
That's why we need to do it again. To stay there, you need to spend the big money. It's very simple. And that's why Man City have stayed where they are for how many years? They came from nothing. We need to do the same. I'm not saying spend Man City money. I'm saying a few touches every summer. Don't leave the squad to just be, on its own. You know what I mean? Alex Ferguson always added 1 or 2 players every summer, even to just freshen up the squad. And that's why they were so successful. We need to do that if we want to stay there and have an era of dominance, because we haven't had that in the modern era, if you want to call it that. But let's hope it starts now, because this is the perfect avenue into finishing
first.
Which
way do you think we sign Asim?
Which way? I was going to ask Sarib, which way would you go then? Or do you think Liverpool will go? Now that Van Dijk and Salah are staying?
Still think 3.
3?
Yeah, Ekatike, Kerkez, and Frimpong. I think those are the 3. Anything else is a bonus. I think those 3 will 100% be done, in my opinion.
Gene?
Look, I can see them happening. I think that's not it, because I genuinely believe Luis Diaz leaves in the summer. I genuinely believe Liverpool will cash in on Luis Diaz in the summer, and we will sign a left winger. That for me is a definite. I think that's what Liverpool will do. We can't allow more players to be going off on fees when there's Saudi money there. Darwin Núñez will leave. We will still recuperate decent. You have to understand this. We are going to recuperate a decent fees this summer, because there is going to be money there to be spent. In terms of Darwin will get decent money. Diaz will get decent money. You've got what's his name? Probably Tsimikas will probably leave. There's probably a bit of money there. Dork will leave. There's that Tyler Morton will hopefully leave. If you add all this money up, I think Bajicic stays. I think they'll probably keep him. Look, Ali just mentioned there's lights of Elliot. There's a chance that he might leave the football club. I say, how can you say 5 of the players are going to leave and we're only signing 3 players?
We're Liverpool. That's why.
Nah, man, we're not doing it. That's that for me. Nah, I think we will sign more. If Elliot leaves, we're then 100%. Yeah, we might go for the cheaper option in that Cirque, in that position. But but players will come in to replace these players. Like Bajicic will replace Morton. People are saying, and I think Kumas might leave. There's money.
Yeah, but we're not gonna. We're gonna get. We might sell Kumas, but how much money we're gonna? We probably put all Morton and Kumas' money towards Van Dijk and Salah.
Oh yeah, I thought you just used that for Trent's contract.
I can tell you that for free.
Give me a number. How many? You said 5. Asim, how many do you think we get? I don't know what you said last time. I forgot.
I'm sticking with 4.
Jake?
I also say 4.
I'm saying 3, and I don't want to be negative, but they've not given me any reason
Getting
to.
3 players would be criminal.
Yeah, it would be. I'm not
100%.
saying that's what I want and what I think.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, I know it's ludicrous, but I just if they prove
It
me
needs
wrong,
to be a minimum of 4. We don't disagree with the big reset in theory, but what we're saying is these guys won't do it over a one transfer window.
yeah, that's what I'm
our
saying.
concern.
That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. I think it'll be like 6 players over 2 windows, but not 4 and 5 and 1. I just think that's
But when you get, I assume they're going to recuperate a lot of fees.
Yeah, no, I get that. What I would say is
Okay, if Elliot goes, so you're saying Elliot money comes in and they're not going to spend it?
no. What I would say is Liverpool will do 3-4 deals, Gene. But then there's a question mark. If they get 40-45 million for Elliot, they'll do that deal.
Yeah.
So there'll be a lot of question marks.
Then that's obviously that's standard, Asim, isn't it? Obviously, they're going to look at deal. Diaz goes, they're going to sign a left winger. Darwin goes, they sign a striker.
There's no guarantee, though, is there?
But Asim, come on, man. Darwin is a done deal. Everybody knows.
Darwin, yeah, I'll give you that.
Yeah, Darwin's off. There is a big.
But Diaz is not a guarantee, though.
That's what I said.
Of course, he's not going. There's never a guarantee that some of these players. But with respect, I think Diaz leaves this summer. Everybody deep down thinks he's going to go.
I agree with you. I think
So
he can only go to Saudi, Gene. Barca haven't got the money.
Okay, I think they have the money. If he's been on the contract that he's on, and Saudis came to give him stupid money, and we're gonna get the fee that we want. This is chutti time, isn't it?
Yeah. Because
so he will go.
Because what I would say is, I think Liverpool they were relaxed regarding Diaz last summer. They probably would have, sort of pushed him over the line or over the cliff if Gordon came in. But they were relaxed, and I think they're fairly relaxed as well because he's on peanuts, Gene. And if they have to keep him one more season, then they'll say, okay, you just see out your contract again. Just like.
But that's the
Asim, he is not going to be happy with that, man. Players going to be kicking up a fuss, bro.
Jake?
And plus, I don't think he's good enough with respect to Luis Diaz. We gave him a chance. Okay, I wanted to be. At the start of the season, I called for numbers. I called for output. You can do all the huffing and puffing as much as you want. I called for output. If I'm honest with you, Asim, his numbers haven't been good enough to play left winger for Liverpool, and I want another player in.
Yeah,
we need to guess Gakpo does well. If Gakpo is your starter, if Gakpo is your starter, and you've got an offer of 50 million quid for Luis Diaz with a 28-year-old with a year left on his contract, you're gonna say TK stay. Are you? Well, you're getting rid, mate. You're getting rid of that player.
But do you think they look at it like, oh, we've got we've got Chiesa that can play left. We've probably got.
I think I agree with you. I think Diaz is off.
So Jake, if Diaz is off, we sign a replacement, don't we?
Who though?
Would you take Semenyo, Gene?
Yes.
Would you take Semenyo, Sarib?
Everybody nicking all of Bournemouth's half team. We're doing a Southampton 6-7 years ago.
Of course, I'd take him. Do I think we'll sign him is a different question. Of course, I'd take him. You lose a player.
Would you take
him?
Would you take him if Diaz leaves?
Do you guys want to just change our whole team for Bournemouth's whole team?
I mean, I won't mind. They've got some players that I really like in there, to be fair.
Jake, would you take him?
What? No, he would not be my ideal choice at left wing.
No, not ideal.
But the market on the winger side stinks as well. I'll be honest. There's not many great wingers out there that you can get. Cavaro is the last one, and he's at Paris Saint-Germain now. So where are you going to look? Leao,
Nico Williams,
inconsistency. Again, I think he's a bit inconsistent.
You want Anthony Gordon?
He's signed a new contract now, hasn't
he? Again, there are players. You just got to pay the fee. Yeah.
I think that Gordon. And I think we've got a better left winger already than Gordon. So
I don't.
That's fine. But I think they're going to look at it thinking like, oh, we've got Chiesa. He's had a season under his belt. He can play left. We've got Gakpo. Like, it wouldn't surprise me if we do that. I genuinely wouldn't surprise me. We just rotate between Gakpo and Chiesa. And then Ekitike can, or the data shows Ekitike can play from the left. Or Harvey Elliott can play. I think they'll do that, man. We've seen them do it before. they went into the season without number 6 and they put Gravenberch, then it's fine. So you think they won't think the same for attacking player? And I think midfield is the most important area on the pitch. If they got away with playing Gravenberch as a 6 the whole season in a pivot, I think they'll be fine with playing Gakpo and having Gakpo and Chiesa rotations with another attacker that can play on the left makeshift. And we went for a season, Gene, where we played James Milner as a left back for the whole season and finished 4th.
Yes, I know we did. I know we did.
There's arguments there.
I don't think you can get away with it. I think this was I think with respect, I think this is the summer of where there will be changes, because
I hope
I
so,
just
innit?
believe that the players will leave. The issue, it's not about. There's too many players that I think that will leave in certain positions where we have to bring in other players to replace them, and Diaz is one of them. And I think we will go big in the summer. I think this is gonna. There's every so often they give us one summer, and I think this will be one summer that we will hopefully bring in for 5 players.
I hope so. What better time to do it than after winning the title?
Jake, have you seen much of Gittins from Dortmund?
No, I haven't, but I was following him along a little bit earlier during the match today. That's a terrible Dortmund side, if I'm being honest. But
Were
no,
you
I
watching
haven't
the
seen a
Barca
ton of
game,
him.
yeah?
I was watching the Barca game. Yeah, I was specifically watching him, but I mean, they almost never had possession of the ball. They're a terrible side.
Really? Wow. What scores it in the end? 4-0.
4-0 was the last that I saw. I don't know if it finished 4-0.
Yep,
Sarib,
4.
Yeah,
Gittins.
finished 4-0. Not seen too much of him. I think he's also very, very raw. He was at Man City. He was at Reading. It just screams Elise to me, to be honest. So Dortmund now, I just don't want it to be a Sancho situation. No, but I think if he was going to go to England, I think he'll end up at Chelsea. If I'm honest, I think Chelsea are the ones that are doing all the work on him. I think Romano did say we had interest, but I think if we need somebody complete, I think Gittins is a bit raw, still young. Not saying he's not good, but I've not seen too much of him to suggest that he's the answer. I want somebody proven. Like I would rather have Semenyo than Gittins, because I've seen Semenyo in the Premier League, and I think if you put him around better players, he probably scores more goals. I'm not saying Gittins isn't good, but I'm just saying. No, as in Zach said, not like Sancho. I mean the transition from England to Dortmund. That's what I meant. Sorry.
What concerns me about Semenyo is he has a lot of shots, but he doesn't score a lot of goals.
Yeah,
That's a bit of a concern for me,
under
because it's not a
his,
team.
XP.
Yeah, by a lot, and
Yeah.
it's a high volume shot, and the nerds don't like that. What they
But
do
XP
like
is the same,
is
Asim.
his 1v1 ability.
Asim, the thing is, if you want players that where you want to pay for that have got proper abilities, then you have to pay the dough. Go and pay the money for Anthony Gordon. Then
I mean,
Apparently Semenyo is going to cost 70 million. For me, that's too much.
look, you're gonna have to pay dough to Bournemouth to get these players out. Obviously, Kerkez, you've got the Hoyson, the thing, what do you call the release clause with on his. If we manage to get him out, obviously there's reports of him in Madrid, but I would really look. I'll be honest. I want us to go all out Gordon, but I think that's going to be the fee is going to be too high. But I want us to go and get Liao, man. I really like him, and I think there's a ceiling of a player there that can really go. The player can really take us to a different level.
I genuinely, this might be an outside shot, but like someone like I know he's quite old, but someone like Mitoma, I think Mitoma would do really well for Liverpool. I think 1v1 he's amazing. His dribbling ability is insane.
Yeah, he is a good player, to be fair.
I really like Mitoma, but I think he's 27. If he was maybe 24, that's the guy. You sign Mitoma.
I think Mitoma's older than 27. I think he's about 28, 29 maybe.
No, I think he's 27. I think he's 27.
I might be wrong.
But a 1v1, I think Mitoma, I've not seen many wingers in Europe better than him 1v1. Very, very good player. But again, there's more to it than a Liverpool. But
we haven't mentioned Nico Williams.
I brought him up. Y'all disregarded him.
Sorry. Oh no, I'd go for things.
Yeah, he's 27. He's 27.
Yeah.
Gene Shide says, finally, I disagree with Saj. Liao doesn't track back. Mitoma isn't good enough.
If he played for Liverpool, he would track back. There's a difference. You can get away with certain players can get away with it at other clubs because they're the chache or whatever you call them. But when you play for a team like Liverpool, players like him would come here knowing that he's gonna have to run his socks off to play for this Liverpool team. So it's not. Yes, there might be a bit. Huh?
I think he's. What about? Like, when I watch him, Gene. When I watch him, he's very lazy, very, very lazy. He's too.
But yeah, some players are like that. They just look. He needs. To be honest with you, he needs out of Milan. He needs to come to a bigger club with respect. Yeah, to come to the Premier League, play for a team like Liverpool, and show what he's really about. Some players sometimes just need a move to really kickstart them, and I think Liao is one of them that really needs it. He's at Milan, man. They're a standard team right now.
The risk there is you're putting down 80 million quid, 70, 80 million quid on a player that you're hoping you kickstart his career. And if you don't,
it's not about me hoping. I look, Jake. I from what I've seen of him, I think I've seen enough that he will cause. Look, Jake. I've fucking had enough of hard workers. Yeah, I'm seeing hard workers. I want to see raw pace in this Liverpool lineup. Liao has a characteristic that not many players have. He can beat a man and he's got raw pace. Yeah,
He has
that's one
that
thing I know.
for
He is,
sure.
right? So
Yeah,
if he,
for sure.
so all you have to tell him is to really track back and run a bit more. That's
I
not
used to be a
difficult
big
to teach.
Nobody else has been able to
That's
tell
not
that
difficult
to
to
him.
teach. No,
I used to be a
listen.
big fan.
Listen. If he comes to Liverpool, I believe you'll see another ceiling with him.
He's
Because he
leaving
does
Milan this
have
summer.
all
The
the
rumors
thingies.
are he's leaving Milan this summer, so he's available.
And if he's
There's-
leaving the Milan, give him a 70 million pound. I think that does get him
That'll
in.
be out of our price budget though. If we're gonna sign a striker, centre midfielder, centre back.
Oh, you're right.
right
Diaz
back,
is leaving. You're gonna get 50 for Diaz, aren't you?
They ain't dropping 80 million on Liao. It's not gonna happen. It's just not gonna
But
happen.
you know, you're getting 50 million in, aren't you? 50 million pounds. You tell me you're not gonna get
Look, we're talking
for
we're
Diaz.
talking 50 mil for XTK. We're talking 40 mil for Kerkez. We're talking 40
You're
mil
not
for
getting
Oh,
XTK
you're like you're
for 50
selling
million.
Darwin Núñez for these fees, aren't you? It's not like we're playing out of our own pocket. No players are coming in. These players are being sold. Where you're gonna sell Darwin, aren't you? And that fee's gonna cover Etikite. You sell Darwin, that sort of fee. Oh yeah, you're gonna put up 20 million pound for
Do you think
a
we pay
Diaz
for
replacement.
You said no. What do you think we pay for
Make me out like
XTK?
we're just giving the money out like this.
What do you think we pay
They're
for
not
XTK?
gonna. They're not gonna sell him for 50. He's going for more than 50.
Who's
Does he have a
this?
release clause?
I think it was 60 million euros or something. That's all. But,
Yeah. What about this
They're
guy?
asking for 80
I
million
don't know.
euros,
Who?
oh yeah, sorry, 60 million, 8 million. Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
but I don't think they're gonna get 80 for this kid.
Let's go to the super chat first. By the way, there's over 800 people of you across both platforms. Come on, smash a like. I bet we're probably on about 50 likes, Gene.
I don't know. Asim,
I guarantee you.
Have a
I
look.
guarantee you.
Let me have a look in it.
Smash a like, subscribe to the channel. We've been stuck on 11.6 for a long time.
105.
It's not bad, better than expected. But come on, it's a good day. Smash a like and subscribe and all that good stuff. Ash, thank you very much as ever, supporting the brothers. Right back, left back, 6, left wing 9. I'm worried like Asim as we don't address the centre back this window. Bajetic comes back to cover gaps, and we sign a right back who can do a centre back in emergency. Who could that be? A right back who can do centre back emergency. Probably not Guy from
I know.
Palace.
That's who was mentioned in it. As we spoke about a few weeks ago. That's the deal. That deal makes sense. Completely
old.
makes sense to you. If you're signing a Kerkez, that deal makes complete sense to me. If you're not going to sign a 6, he's very good defensively. He'll track back.
Ooh, Simakan. We've not spoke about him for a while. There was a proper left field shout for a winger here. I have to put it up. Where is it? Let me find it.
Simikan's in Saudi, no?
Yeah, he's gone. He's gone there.
Gene, what about I've lost the thingy. I think it was Ethan who put it up.
What did he say? Just say yes, man.
Oh no, he's gone. Oh, he's gone. Yeah, here it is. You read it?
If it's someone like Kingsley Coman, nah, you know why I don't want him? He's playing for Man United.
I agree with you. I don't want him, man.
Okay,
I think he's
put
had a really good.
Put the Man United thing to aside for a second.
I can't, mate. Sorry, can't do that. No.
Is Semenyo better than Elanga?
He is because he played for Man United. Yeah, he is.
No, come on.
No. There's no come on. You can't. No. What do you mean come on? No. He played for Man United, so you shit. Simple.
The thing is, Asim, I can't.
I get that. Give me about the player.
He's a good player. He's a good player. He's a good player. He has improved a lot, to be fair to him, man.
Elanga isn't even
Yeah.
good.
I mean, even the game I saw him play, even a couple of years ago, I don't even remember. He played. He started against us at Old Trafford a couple of years ago before he moved to Forest, and he was really good in that.
Elanga over Semenyo any day.
Yeah, I think Elanga's better. If I'm being honest, I think Elanga's better.
Yeah, Elanga looks good because he plays they're playing defensive teams, man. It's easy because they're always running on things, bro. Brighton play proper football. Sorry, Bournemouth play football.
I think Liverpool should go for this lad. I think they might have a chance for this.
Oh yeah, no chance, man. Come on, you're
Why,
right.
Gene?
100 million.
Maybe he's gonna get
No, they ain't. You think they're gonna sell flipping Barcola to us? I know Dewey started tonight, but they ain't selling Barcola.
Dembele, Kvara, who's on the right?
They've got
That-
obviously
that-
Dewey's
that's why,
young.
That's why I'm saying.
Dewey and Bakola in it right now. But Leja, you're asking, come on, man. Yes, of course I'd take him, but that's a very difficult deal to do, mate. Especially if they go and win the UCL. But Leja, mate, these players are staying.
It's not a priority for me, though. It's not a priority. We'll be fine with. I'm telling you, next season we need a striker more than we need a left winger. I'm telling you.
That's
So we
obvious,
can-
but you need a left winger.
Oh, yeah,
too, with
that's
Diaz
standard,
leaving.
Sarib. You're making it out like we don't know we need a striker.
We
That's
can
standard
get
when they
away.
sign a striker.
I'm telling you right now.
Smith.
Come back to me in December. We can get away with Gakpo and Chiesa as the two left wingers, at least until next season. I'm telling you. Gakpo, high level. Chiesa, you're the one that said he's going to turn into Lionel Messi at Liverpool. So why not? Why have you
Yeah,
changed your
that he
opinion?
said to me, man, this guy doesn't understand. That does not mean, and we still need 5 or 6 attackers. That doesn't mean I'm not going to say, go and really sign another player. No, go sign a thing. I need another player, don't I?
I've got
Look,
a feeling Liverpool will go for Xavi Simons.
Yeah, I think so. They will. I think they'll go for him as well.
I think they
rather
like
have-
his. I think they like his versatility. He can play in the 10. He can do bits like the Coutinho role from the left, especially if you've got someone Kerkez bombing up and down that left wing. You might not need like an out-and-out winger at times. And I think they like. Is there a release clause? Is it about 60 million, Sarib?
It's
65?
I don't
I'd
think
rather
there
have
is a release clause, but I'm not sure.
I think they like him.
The lap pen, another strike. Like I said last show.
Yeah, is that your bomber? Look, I will give you my bomber when I get my permission, and you'll see it as in the form of a tweet straight away. But I've just got a feeling about Xavi Simons this summer.
What's his key passes per 90? That's what I want to see, because that's what I need in my number 10 mate. That's what I need. Someone find out for me. What's his key passes per 90? Because if they're lower than 3, mate, I'm not interested. In the Bundesliga, I'm not interested. Sorry.
What we've all. I think Shirky is a player that they're monitoring, to use that word.
No, you can forget about that kid. I got no interest in that kid.
You don't like him?
No, I mean I haven't seen a ton of him, but I'm not interested in a player with no legs.
You know he's a left-footed player, and I scored him so a free kick into the top corner of his right foot. I couldn't believe it. Oh, bloody hell! You know that he's left-footed. He put the ball down. He took a free kick with his right foot, and the ball went to the top corner. I was like, sorry.
I can't see us signing that kid.
Which is Ryan Serkey.
Oh, 20 million
yeah.
pounds, something like that, Jake.
These deals make complete sense to me, Jake. Complete
We're not signing
sense.
it. We're not signing
Both,
that kid.
yeah, mate, he's
Okay.
nuts. Yeah,
Moby's
see,
in the
everyone's like,
building. He's been shouting about Ryan Shirky for a while.
see, when you guys
25
see me, I
million.
don't watch other leagues. Look, I just made everyone. You know what I mean? So I do watch football, mate. Yeah.
I think this is the part of the show where we
You just
talk
don't
about-
watch Liverpool.
You know what it is. You know, it's gonna sound so weird, yeah. But like, you know what? Do you think slots football is boring? Because I'll be honest, I get bored sometimes.
Oh yeah, you wouldn't pay you wouldn't pay to go and watch more Salah. Well, what else do you want me to say to you? You wouldn't go pay Ronaldinho.
No, I think it's Klopp set the bar so high. I think that's what it is. I genuinely think that's.
No,
what
we
it is.
just we just love full
I don't
throttle
have,
football.
I don't
man.
have any issues at all with our
Oh.
style of play.
Yeah. Ooh, that 3.1 per 90. Oh, hello.
But-
That's
Okay.
interesting. Isn't it? No, I'm not bored of winning.
You know,
I'm not bored of
just to go back to this, Gene, I'm worried about Liverpool don't address the centre back area. I'm fearful that they will go with these 4 same centre backs.
Then you're asking for it, mate.
Well, you're prepared to go with right back. You're prepared to go with Bradley and who? Gomez.
But
You're
as
gonna
long
have
as
to
we
be
sign a
prepared to
left
go
back,
short
as long as we
somewhere.
sign a left back and a centre back, Asim. You
Oh,
sign
yeah.
a left
Listen.
back and a centre back so that you're
Oh, yeah.
covered, and then you've
You're-
got a couple of players there that I think we are okay with. That we will say, okay, let's give it a
Okay.
year.
Rephrase the
You're
question.
you're gonna be left short somewhere. The question is which one,
Yeah,
which
where?
area are you willing to be left short in?
That's
And I think
That's
you'll be the right
standard
back.
for this club.
So what's the order of priority for you, all of you? What's the order of priority in terms of position? What's
question.
needed first? That's the question I'm going to ask you. So that will show to me what you want before anything. So for
I
me,
think we all agree with the number 9.
that's first. I think striker. But I'm going to ask because Gene and Jake and you might think different. So go on,
No,
I'll
obviously,
start.
look for me right now. Look, I've cried out left back for 2 years. So it'd be funny of me to say not. But then again, I've cried out saying Darwin Núñez isn't good enough for Liverpool. I mean, he's another 9. So probably the left back and the striker are probably 2 positions that we really need.
So
You don't think we need a 6 anymore?
left back,
It's
striker
not that we
team.
don't need a 6. We need a 6. But most important, but I can live with it.
King,
Which
Meaning,
one's the
which
least
four
important?
positions have you gone?
He goes left back,
striker,
Yeah.
right back. No.
Right.
Sorry, left back, striker. Because I believe Diaz is gonna go left winger and
Yeah.
midfielder.
So left back, striker.
Left back, striker, midfielder, and winger.
That's what you do. DM. You mean?
Yes, DM.
And
Striker's
then,
more important than a left back.
Who's
to be
your fourth
honest.
one?
Winger. I want pace.
Jake.
Why do you take these notes? What do you do with these notes?
Because I like to. I like.
His
to write
receipts,
down.
it is receipts.
No, it's not receipts. It's not receipts. It's not receipts because by the time we go around the end of the table, around the table, you forget sometimes. So left back, striker, DM, and left wing. Jake, would you agree?
Very close to agreeing. The only question mark that I have is center back versus DM. That's the one that I'm questioning. I think I would. It's very difficult for me to answer this question. I don't know if I want to center. I would rather have a center back than a DM.
Oh shit! Didn't I not say centre back? I didn't, did I?
You didn't go center back.
Oh, my the mark pity.
So who would you?
But you know what? I want them positions more than anything right now. So
so you don't want center back then?
I do want a centre back. It's not that I don't want it. This
No,
guy's an idiot. I
More
want a centre
positional
back.
priority. So you've got
City,
DM as your third priority now.
No.
This
Centre
is
back.
where he
We've
patch
got
him
to
up. This is
change
why he
it.
doesn't use his brain. He doesn't use his brain.
Centre
G, you know?
back.
This is
Centre
why I
back,
write
yeah.
it down, Jake.
Boy, change it to centre back, man. I need a centre back. Bloody hell. I need a centre
So
back.
you go left back, 9.
Left back, striker,
Centre back.
defender, centre back, and then I want to go winger. I want pace, Asim. I want Diaz gone.
He just copied my 4. Thanks.
Honestly, Jake, no. I just changed because DM, I'm okay. Gravenberg is there, isn't it?
What was the thing saying? He goes left back, striker, centre back. Not bothered about the fourth.
Yeah,
Same
I
with
get
you.
what he's trying to say. He's trying to
You
say,
wanna-
look, we can get a right back. If we get a right back TK, or we got a winger TK, that's the least priority in it. So I get where he's coming from.
No, we
We've
need a right
always
back.
got Boy at right back. Sarib, do you agree with that 4?
Kibria doesn't even believe. Kibria's got. I'm shocked at this.
What? Left back?
4th strikers are
What?
4th flipping thingy, man.
It was Darwin Núñez leading.
How
the
you
It
way.
might
put
not be.
striker
It might not be in order.
He's worse
That
than
doesn't-
me.
That doesn't mean it's in order.
No, I said it in
He
order
does.
of
That's
importance.
order, man. That's his
No,
order.
no, it doesn't
I know
mean that's in
Kibria,
order.
man. We know Kibria, brother, loves Darwin Núñez.
Yeah,
That's
we
why.
want
bet
the
you
order,
that's-
man.
I bet you that's not in order. I bet you right now that's not in order. I know Kibria.
Bloody hope not, mate. That's shambolic.
That's not
That.
in order.
That's his order, man.
Oh, not in order.
Not
Not
in
in order.
order.
Hey, get it now. He knew he was gonna get
goes,
pelters from
not in
me.
order.
Not in order. Go
Jake
on.
saved you
Okay,
there.
let you off.
Jake saved you. He saved you there. He saved you.
Sarib, what's your order?
Yeah, I'm stuck between left back and striker and important because look, we won
1
the
and 2,
league. This year.
Cholo, it's fine.
Yeah, we won the league this year with a half decent left back and a not that good striker. Now do I think we need a striker because City and Chelsea and these teams are going to be better? Arsenal, yes. So you know what, striker. Oh, fucking hell, I don't know. With that, I'm striker and left back. I can't pick 1 or 2.
Oh
but
yeah,
those
just
are-
choose 1 or 2, man. It's not difficult. Just choose 1 or 2. It's not biggie.
Yeah, because it's been obvious this season more so that we need a striker. I put striker first because I think we need goals. I think this not as deep because Salah signed, but striker, left back, right back, DM, centre back.
That's it. You're done.
No,
You might as well say 10 as well, and you're completely done.
no, I just said in the position that we need. That's not what I think we're going to do in the summer. I just said what we need in order is what I'd do. I'd go get striker first, sort the goals out.
You know, you should have said players. It'd be more fun.
Yeah,
because
TK, Kerkez.
Opinions could change if you say words. For number 10, you're all going 10, aren't you? But if I give you a Rayan Shirky, like someone like Jake will say, forget him. I don't want him. So it does
give me
depend.
Isak and you can take care of the rest of the summer
Isak,
window
we don't need
yourself.
anyone.
There you go. But you know what we need to do is we'll do a separate show where we've got 150 million to spend, and then we're
Net.
buying and selling
Net.
net. So we'll do a show. We'll do a show like that.
Oh, you weren't there, were you? You weren't there on that show. Who do you think's better between Darwin Núñez and Alexander Isak? I'm going to ask you.
Are you asking me?
No, I don't need to ask you. I'm gonna ask
That's with this guy. I swear to God, Asim.
you. Wallahi, I'm never letting that go. I'm never ever letting that go. I promise to God, he's my witness. I'm never letting that go. I got for it. I got absolute pelters for it. I'm not letting that go. I am
Zach,
not
you're
letting
under
that go.
instructions. We don't clip this part. Okay, I think that's the wrap, man. What a show. Hour and a half discussing the contracts. I'm sure we might even see something break tomorrow. We might see Mohamed Salah and Van Dijk carrying a shirt with 2027 on the new shirt or the old shirt. But let's see what happens. But we'll do those many transfer shows. I'm sorry my battery died. But up until about 5 minutes ago, our special guest was supposed to be coming on. But hopefully we get him on in our future shows. But thank you very much for watching. Jake, as ever, thank you very much for hopping on, mate. And we shall catch you on the next one. Take care, and we see you soon.
Take care, everyone. Have a good one.
My I thought my batteries died.